You know something? I think we've got ourselves a saga on our hands. Because if I were to try and talk about these John Wick movies, especially film number 2, which will have to be reserved for Movie Fridays, unfortunately, basically we're going to be spoiling almost the whole plot of the saga. Because all of them are tied into one another. And I just like to see how many people will try and avoid the spoiler for this one, since we've got a big thing going on with this saga. But spoilers, if you want to see these movies, you're gonna have to look somewhere else. Wait until you've actually seen them, and then come back to this, if you willingly are. But if you're still here and you have seen the movies, well, let's dive in. So, John Wick Chapter 3 is the continuation of John Wick Chapter 2, which continues off of the first John Wick film, and it just seems like from there it's just turned into a runaway hit. Like, it's the biggest film in Keanu Reeves' career, and probably one that's going to stand out in his career. Resuming off of the ending to Chapter 2, John Wick has committed a sin against the agency, and he has a bounty on his head, which now he's on the run to try and fix all of this. And how is he going to do it? It's going to be one hell of a journey, but it'll happen. Somewhat. I want to try and be vague about this, but with a film that continues off itself, off of where the ending continued off of, it's kind of hard to explain how all of it goes down. It's one of those you have to see it for yourselves. I guess I could do maybe a spoilers video sometime down the line, but I don't know, but I guess I'll have to wait until after I do the Movie Fridays for John Wick Chapter 2. But with it continuing off of Chapter 2, which Chapter 2 continued off the first film, it grows apparent that this is going to be an ever-growing saga. A saga in which Wick thinks that he's out of the business, but something comes and bites him in the rear that basically forces him to still stay within the business, and it's not going to be easy for him to pull out, especially in the condition that he's in, and now that he's on the run from the agency, and the fact that he's got a bounty on his head. The big question that raised my mind was, how on earth is the next film, which is coming out in 2021, and yes, I looked up the schedule for the release of the next film, and it seems like the sets of movies are on an odd number schedule. So, Chapter 2 was 2017, this one is this year, 2019, and the next story is going to be in 2021, so that'll be interesting to rewatch the trilogy and get a full, fresh opinion on what even to say about this saga. Unlike other films, which they can be a little bit stale and hard to follow up, I feel the John Wick films are a little bit of a refresher and still have this really cool atmosphere to it. Again, continuing with the John Wick lore, I love how perfectly executed and well crafted the lore of the agency is. The famous hotel where everyone could call it a safe place and not, like, break the rules. If they did, then they're considered outlaws and declassified from the agency. That I like. Really cool, really neat. And I look forward to seeing how it'll develop in the next film. But positives. It's New York, looks good. You also gotta love the fact how it's full of innocent people that are looking by. They're like bystanders, and they just see like two guys duking it out, not knowing they're part of an agency, and it's like, just another average day in New York. That's really how it is. Basically, the setting is awesome. I love the lore that they're continuing to build with each movie. I personally love, like, some of the characters that come out. I mean, there are some moments where, like, other agents that run regular businesses that come across him, and it's like, oh, Mr. Wick, I love your work. So, stuff like that is actually kind of funny, but it does have some self-containment that makes it a tremendously wonderful film that I could watch until the next movie comes out. And negatives, really, without giving it away, it is the one that's puzzling me. Like, how are they going to continue this? And hoping that it does well and it doesn't get scrapped. We have ourselves about 2 years, well, technically 1 year and 11 months, but still, we got ourselves that long to wait for the next John Wick movie. I look forward to seeing what will happen in the next film. Setting's good, the ending is going to leave me questioning how it's going to continue onward. And by this point, since you've already seen my John Wick Blu-rays, pretty much I'm still going to give the summary of it's worth the watch and worth the buy. Because, why not? This is a tremendously awesome franchise that has a really good story set up to it, has very amazing shots of New York, and the action is almost non-stop. It's like there's no room for you to take a breath. You're just in a testosterone mode where you're like, yeah, shoot that gun, karate! So, around the lines like that is what makes John Wick an amazing film series. And it still shows that Keanu Reeves still has it in him to do these movies, so highly positive there. But anyways, John Wick Chapter 3. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? And in full honest opinion, what do you think of the John Wick movie so far? What have your thoughts are? Comment below, let me know. And if you like what you've seen here, and you want to see more, just click around here if I remember to post it. If you want to see more. And as always, I'm the Ferb Guy, and I'll see you guys for the next movie.